What's up, Browns fans? Welcome to the Dawgs podcast. Let's kick this thing off.
Welcome to the Dawgs podcast with your hosts Blake Renneker, Zach Kopp, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dawgs podcast, week one edition. 2020, a lot of crazy things in the world. At least we can count on a couple things: death, taxes, and the Browns are going to lose their opener.
Absolutely.
What are we, 1-19 in our last 20 or something like that?
Yeah, we our last win in the season opener was 2004 with Jeff Garcia, the guy that I have an autographed 25-cent pillow of. So pretty exciting. Maybe that value is going up. Probably not.
Every year we don't win our opener, that thing goes up like a nickel.
Yep.
Before we get too far into this, obviously Zach's not here in person. Work sent him away, sent him to the middle of nowhere. So we got him here, on our Zoom call or whatever. So everybody wave hi to Zach in Pennsylvania. Make sure you check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. Obviously week one didn't go, I guess it kind of went the way we expected. It just didn't go the way we wanted. I don't want to waste too much time because I feel like we got a lot of stuff to get into with this game. Browns, obviously, you guys probably all watched, got it handed to them. What was it, 38-6?
Yeah. I kind of checked out. I'm not going to lie. Halfway through the third quarter, I was like, I'm tired. I just want to go to bed. This sucks.
I think the rest of the league, can you imagine when all the other teams are looking at the Ravens going, first of all, you're probably the best team in the league. Second of all, you get a freaking scrimmage week one. Yeah. Like, what in the world?
Yeah, they're like, I thought we weren't playing preseason games.
That's awful.
All I know is at the end of that game, I kept thinking, that's what I was excited for. I've been waiting and praying for football, hoping we got to have an NFL season, and then at the end of the game, I was like, well, it's football season again.
Dude, it's one of those things where, like, this entire offseason we've been doing this podcast, and I think I've been probably the most negative on the Browns, the one saying, all right, calm it down, don't get excited. And I don't even want to sit here and tell you guys I told you so.
No, this is your moment.
But it hurts.
This is it, yeah.
It sucks. I was watching the game like, I just wanted to be wrong about that so badly.
Here's the thing.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I have a question. So which one's more disappointing, week one this year or week one last year?
Oh, definitely last year, but this was...
They're a different kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
So what I do want to say is, at least in the first, half, I thought we seemed like a more disciplined football team than we were last year. I know for the game we had 8 penalties for 80 yards. Mm-hmm. They had 7 for 76 or something like that. We weren't that far off them. What did we have last year, Justin?
18 penalties for 182 yards. That's unreal. That's how many passing yards Minshew almost had yesterday, I'm pretty sure. He had something like that. That's a stat line for a quarterback.
Sad thing is, we were in that game, though, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. We were not in this game in the fourth quarter.
No. We weren't in this game in the first quarter.
So, I thought we looked more disciplined. I thought before it became obvious that they were going to score on essentially every single possession, I thought we had an identity on offense. I thought we came out and we were trying to run the ball. I think once it became obvious, like we got down and we weren't ever going to stop them, we pretty much we started throwing the ball a lot. Way more than I thought we were going to throw the ball.
Yep.
But I thought at least for a quarter, we had an identity, more disciplined. I think we had 8 penalties. 3 of them were on one drive where we ended up 3rd and 41. So
I love the announcers on that one. Hey, what's your go-to 3rd and 41 play?
Yeah. Baker threw the ball 39 times. I did not. That's 2 games worth of what I thought we were going to see this year. And he completed 21 passes. Just one time, guys. I want Baker's completion percentage to be in the 60s for a game. This dude lives in the low 50s. It's like, that's his staple. A Baker staple is a 52% completion percentage for the game.
Yep.
It's
his QB rating was 33.
Oh.
So, how are we doing this? Are we trying to do positives first? Are we going to scrape the bottom of that barrel?
Okay. No, I guess you could say his only pick, was tipped. Calais Campbell tipped it.
The only pick that actually got caught
Yeah.
The second one that he threw, who was it? The defender. He threw it right into his hands, and the guy just dropped it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he was as surprised as anybody. Wow, he threw it right to me.
I can't believe this ball's here. Yeah. I'm not even wearing the Cleveland Browns uniform.
We're going to talk about positives. I'd say Nick Chubb's first run. Everything after that, he didn't look like Nick Chubb last year at all. And I'm sure the Ravens keyed in on that. That was one of the things like, hey, Nick Chubb ain't going to beat us type of a thing. But I thought Nick Chubb first drive, I was like, okay, hey, we were rolling. I thought that, it looked like we had something going. Then we throw the interception. But really after that drive, I thought Kareem Hunt was the better back. I thought he was more explosive. I thought he wanted the ball way more than what Chubb was giving us.
I actually put down in here, Hunt out-carried Nick Chubb.
Yep.
And also I think he had 8 targets in the pass game. Kareem Hunt definitely seemed like a focal point. And I don't know how much of this was, did Stefanski get mad at Chubb for fumbling? And so he kind of phased him out. But it seemed from the get-go like Hunt had a definitive role. And I heard a lot during camp, stuff I was reading that said Kareem Hunt fits our scheme. Like, he might fit it better than what Nick Chubb fits our scheme. Well, and so don't be shocked if going forward, like, Kareem Hunt, it sounds crazy to say because Nick Chubb's awesome, but Kareem Hunt might start to phase him out. There's a reason we gave Kareem Hunt a 2-year extension.
Kareem Hunt is closer to the archetype, the type of player that Dalvin Cook is. He's that fast, still kind of a power runner, a bigger guy, but pass catcher.
Elusive, can catch the ball. So it sounds crazy, and I want to give a shout out to Ian Murphy. He told me this before the season. He said, Kareem Hunt's going to get an extension, Nick Chubb's gone. And I was like, you're insane. There's no way that's happening. He actually texted me before Kareem Hunt got the extension when it was just rumored, and he was like, I told you so. So this guy, I don't know, maybe Ian should be coaching the Browns.
Well, here, let's just look real quick, though, because some positives for this Browns running game. So you're right. Hunt out-carried Chubb 13-10.
Yep.
Hunt 72 yards, Chubb 60. But both of these guys were over 5 yards a carry. Yeah. Hunt was 5.5, and Chubb was 6 against the Ravens.
Yep.
So we got 2 guys. Oh, and by the way, both of their longest runs were over 20 yards.
Yeah. And the Nick Chubb fumble, it's not like he took the handoff and got, he literally was fighting for extra yards. If his lineman's not laying on the ground in front of him, he's down and it's not a fumble. So I feel like I don't think that Stefanski benched him for an extra effort play where, if it's a Patriots play last year where they just completely just botched the handoff, then maybe it's that, but I don't know.
I agree, Justin. I don't think that it was. I think it was one of those situations we're going to see this year, and it sucks for you fantasy owners out there that have Nick Chubb and he took him early. That it's going to be the hot hand. Who's giving who Stefanski's eye likes more out on the field? Who he thinks is giving him the better look? Because also, if you're a defense, you kind of got to scheme Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in a little bit different way than. They're not just, apples to apples with both those guys in the game. They do different things better than the other.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. So I kind of, as soon as the game was done, I got on my phone and started putting notes so I wouldn't forget things that happened in the game. So obviously, we were 5 minutes into the game. Baker throws a pick. Yeah. And it's like, here we go again. Go again.
Right where we left off, baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing changed.
And then the Ravens immediately turned into points. And then we get the ball back and we got a punt, and Scottish Hammer delivers an awesome punt, pins them at the 1, and what do? We give up a 99-yard drive. Methodical. There was no question they were going to score. 99-yard drive. And then so the Browns finally answer, go down, score a touchdown. Right on cue, what do? We missed the extra point. So some of my keys to the game last week, get ahead early. That was out the window quick. Win the special teams battle.
Nope.
We missed a field goal, missed an extra point. Win time of possession. We did by 20 seconds. And that was only because the Ravens would score so fast. And so we didn't do one thing. It's like they didn't listen to the show. If they would have listened to the show, they would have known they needed to get ahead early.
Or did the show get put on Twitter?
I don't know. We'd have to look and see. I'm sure if you guys look in about 10 seconds, it'll be on.
Absolutely.
Blake, you did miss with the Scottish Hammer. How about our 4th and 3 or 4? Going for it early in the game, first quarter. I mean, going for it right off the rip. I think it was 7-0 at that point.
Yes.
Defense, the only stand they made, we ended up holding them to a field goal. But I mean, it could have got worse quicker than what it did.
So obviously hindsight's 20/20. If you don't get it, everybody says it's a terrible call. But I know what Stefanski's thinking. He's going, man, we can't do anything on offense, and we can't stop a nosebleed right now. He's like, we got to do something to wake these guys up. He's like, we can't give these guys the ball back. Now, did we execute it very well? No.
Oh my gosh!
It was
the execution.
Worst fake punt I've ever. Like, he didn't even try to sell a fake on that. Like, he was running to the line of scrimmage as the ball was being snapped. I'm like, as soon as he snapped, I'm like, they're fake punting that. Like,
he got kind of leveled too.
I think he was like, I think he was scared. I think he was like, he had the jitters and.
Yeah, that in the block. If you go back and you watch Andres Sendejo, that's there, and he's trying to like lead block the guy. Like if he makes the block, maybe he has a chance to get a yard or two. But he just literally got pushed around like he was a toddler right to the ground, and the guy pushes him out of the way. All right, pushes him out of the way, and then just annihilates Jamie Gillen. You know, this big buff punter that we have that's. Looks like this genetic freak or whatnot, and he gets blown up. That's why he gets paid to kick the ball.
Absolutely.
not run for first down.
Yeah.
So we were watching the game and we said, you know, Stefanski must have accidentally picked up one of Freddie's old playbooks or something on his way out. And then
second half too.
There was an alert came out, or I saw on Bleacher Report that actually it wasn't Freddie's ex playbook, it was Hugh's ex playbook that he grabbed because it said the first game that Hugh Jackson ever coached for the Browns, he tried a fake punt in the first quarter. It was like 4th and it was very, very similar situation, and it didn't work either. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't know. I understand what you're saying there, Blake, but like, just football IQ wise, it's just at least give us a chance. Now I understand if we punt and they come down and score, then we're down 14-0. But
I mean, it didn't really hurt us that much. We only gave up 3. Honestly, it was our best defensive stand of the season. So I think what hurt us even more, we get the ball back. You know, it's kind of like a 4-minute offense type deal. We're pushing. We're like, man, we're driving again. We might score, make this thing a game before the half. And Odell drops a wide open pass on 3rd and 1.
Was that the one where he looked like he just wanted to bat it down?
Like he caught it.
He looked like he was trying to turn upfield before he caught it. And I've been a huge Odell guy, you know, thinking he's going to be our best receiver this season. And all I've heard in training camp is how he looks unguardable. He soaks, his explosiveness is back. They even said it on the game. They're like, Odell's got his spring back. Look at him. Man, he sucked.
He's not even our 4th best receiver on the team.
You mean Odell on that play where they were like, yeah, Odell's got his spring back, but he stepped out of bounds and the catch didn't count?
Yeah.
That was yeah.
Like, he was awful. Now, I will say that, and then we do not know how to get this guy involved. Freddie didn't know how to do it, and now, I mean, I'm going to give Stefanski some leeway because he had the same problem first couple weeks last year in Minnesota where Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen were both calling out the offensive coordinator because Minnesota was attempting 3 passes a week and nobody was getting the ball. So he's got time to adjust. But then we just start force feeding Odell the ball. I mean, he had like 3 targets in the first half, and I think he finished with 10. It worked out a little bit because he kept drawing pass interference penalties. But, man, he did not look good.
So I think
he didn't look good at all.
Gettleman probably looks like the smartest guy in the world right now because he got a 1st-round pick out of us for Odell. For a guy that we can't get involved in our system. What do you have, 3 catches for 14 yards?
On 10 targets, like you said, Blake. Like, elite receivers in the NFL do not go 3 of 10.
Well, my thing, too, is that, so it's a couple series in the game, and I'm like, where's Odell Beckham? I haven't seen him one time. Like, I haven't even heard his name get mentioned, nothing. Yep. And they're like, oh, he's getting an IV
Yeah.
There was no preseason. There was barely any training camp. What are you getting an IV for? It's the second quarter of the game.
Well, that's
Yeah,
why
and
he's out of shape. He didn't have any preseason.
He's
to get
doing
warmed up.
Drake videos at the Nike headquarters and takes a lot out of you, I guess. I don't know, man. I like that song, but I'd rather if he wasn't in the video. Now it makes us look stupid.
I would say a lot of our struggles there kind of, I would have said maybe it was second quarter because I don't think Odell had a target until the second quarter. And then and Baker came out today, and quote and said, we can't force the ball to Odell or whatnot. I felt like some of those plays, we were forcing the ball there.
I would say like all of them, man. Yeah.
As much too as Odell sucked. All of our receiver.
I thought where I saw Jarvis when they were targeting him early, I thought Jarvis looked very competent. And then he disappeared. They completely went away from their game plan.
Jarvis Landry is wide receiver 1 for the Browns.
Yeah.
He is.
Yep.
Odell is not the wide receiver 1.
He had 2 more catches than Odell.
Doesn't matter.
For 60 yards.
Doesn't matter
Two
when he
more
gets
catches.
how many targets though.
6.
When he gets thrown the ball,
Does something with it.
he
He's
does something.
open.
Yeah.
How much of Odell's problem is Baker?
Probably
Probably
at
a
least
lot.
half.
Yeah.
A lot. We were talking on the way up here. Every game I watch, it gets worse and worse that Baker might not be our quarterback.
That's a very, very, and I hate to say this because guess what? We're going back 5 years already.
He used to, his rookie season, he was so good at manipulating the pocket. He'd drop back, and if there's a little bit of pressure, he'd sidestep it, step up in the pocket. I don't know if you guys remember, the last half of his rookie year, we had the least amount of sacks.
Yeah, we did. And I
With
watched
Greg Robinson.
I watched a second-year quarterback last night do those things very well, and I was impressed with his pocket presence, and that was Drew Lock. You guys watch that game with the Broncos?
I did not. I was stuck at work.
He moved up in the pocket. He rolled out. I did not realize how quick he was and how good of an arm he has.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this guy, he didn't have a big game or anything, but he's definitely got the makings of a good quarterback.
Yeah. Baker take the snap Sunday and immediately looked panicked. He's like,
oh, it was back and forth and side to side, and
he's
fake. And
obviously, you want to have good feet in the pocket, but he's buzzing. He's turning his head 1,000,000 miles per hour. He doesn't know where to throw the ball. And then there were so many times in that game, he'd get a little outside pressure. And I'm like, just step up, Baker.
Yep.
No, he just bails. Who does he think he is? Mike Vick, Russell Wilson? I mean, I don't know.
Take either of those guys right now on this roster.
He's completely regressed from his rookie season, and it's killing me to say that because I love how Cleveland he is, and his rookie year was so good, the best thing we've had in my life. But man, I don't think opposing defenses are afraid of Baker Mayfield, and they're like, we just got to lock up these receivers for 2-3 seconds tops until one D lineman gets free, and Baker's gonna run around and be screwed. And I think none of we had 2,000-yard receivers last year, but neither one of them had that good of seasons. And if he continues like this, I don't want to panic after one game, but he's not going to be in much longer.
It's not one game. That's the thing. There was 16 last year.
I will say he's the first quarterback in NFL history to play on the same team for his first 30 games and have 4 different head coaches.
Yep.
So the Browns have done a good job of screwing him over.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But at some point, too, you were the number 1 pick in the draft. At some point, your talent should overtake that a little bit, and you should be able to at least look good. He doesn't look good.
What's the thing? Okay, different schemes. I get it. It's difficult to learn. You're learning new things and all that kind of stuff. But at some point, like you just said, you're a quarterback. You've been doing this for years and years and years and years. Where's that natural ability? I'm not seeing anything out of him. I mean,
his accuracy is so bad right now.
Okay, when he throws the ball, does it not look like it just kind of floats out there? Like he doesn't. I don't know, man. It just doesn't look like when I watch other quarterbacks play the game.
This pains me to say this right now too.
Oh, it sucks because I love Baker. I've been so Baker this whole time. I still am, but I'm not going to sugarcoat this.
That leash is getting shorter. That leash is definitely getting shorter.
I agree. I think the leash is getting shorter. I think that if he comes out like this, especially this Thursday night, I think that it's going to be bad if he looks as bad as he did in week 1. I think he's going to bounce back a little bit. We've been talking about it all, training camp ever since we started the podcast. We were like, Stefanski's coming in. We're going to be running the football. I'm sure that there weren't many days when they were doing pre-games and like, all right, Baker, you're going to throw 39 passes this week. They probably didn't have 39 pass plays in their playbook that they went over in training camp because they didn't think that they were going to be doing that.
Here's what scares me a little bit.
That bothers me a little bit.
It seems like no explosiveness in the offense. So even in that first half, we had 188, 189 yards at the half. So, we were on pace to put up almost 400 yards offense. That's a pretty decent game. The problem is we'd run the ball, and do a play action pass. No explosive plays. Nothing downfield. Nobody's open. It's like they're daring. Either our receivers can't get open or Baker can't find them. He's just missing everybody.
And then even tight end wise.
I was just going there.
Austin Hooper, big time money, 2 catches.
Austin who, where?
Yeah.
I'm
not going to lie, and I'm just being completely honest. I don't even remember his catches. They were so, it was 15 yards.
Did he have more than one?
No, I thought there was 2 catches for 15.
He had
2 catches, 15 yards,
Well,
I
good
think.
for him.
Yep. 2 catches, 15 yards. He had 2 targets. That was it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember the one, it was like a little sideline out. And then Harrison Bryant had one at the beginning, a little 5-yard. And I was like, oh, man, they're getting him involved. You know who our best player was on Sunday?
David Njoku.
David Njoku. Yeah. And guess what? Now he's hurt.
3 weeks on injured reserve.
I literally I told him, I'm going through, I have this like app on my thing and it just gives me live updates and it's like David Njoku on IR, blah, blah, blah. The first thing it said is, who cares? And I just was like, yeah, that's where we're literally at for the Browns. Like
he was the lone bright spot.
Yeah.
And then gets hurt. He caught all 3 of his targets, had a touchdown.
Yep.
And he was one of the only good things about that game. And we haven't even talked about the defense yet.
Oh,
We've only focused on the offense so far.
And the thing is, like, I know we keep going back to, well, it's the Ravens. They're such a great team. They'll lose games this year. You know what I mean? There will be teams that are going to come in or
everybody's going to play up for them.
Yeah,
and they're going to play better teams than what we rolled out.
Yeah,
there.
Teams going 16-0 is very, very rare. They're going to lose a game or 2 or 3 or maybe 4. I don't know, but you know what I mean? It's not like there's this invincible force that 6 points.
Yeah.
With how many times, Blake, in the offseason? Look at our team on paper.
That's what I was going to say.
6?
We on paper, everybody talks about how good the Ravens roster is. The Browns roster is not like this isn't 2017, 2016, where we got a bunch of scrubs out there. This roster is loaded with first-round picks and, Pro Bowl players, superstars. And we score 6 freaking points. It's unbelievable. And I know it's a new system, but this is supposed to be, a very QB-friendly system. And it's going to be, hopefully it'll be friendly to Case Keenum when he gets to play in a couple weeks.
I think it'll be, we have to at least explore there'll be 6 games. We have to make sure Baker's not the guy. Cause if we go away from Baker, that'll be the last time we ever see Blake. That'll be the last time. I don't think that, for what we're paying Case, they're comfortable with him, which is awful. Because literally, I've said it a bunch of times, if we're going to go after a quarterback, the quarterback that we want to build a franchise around isn't going to be available next year. Justin Fields is not going to be available where we get a pick. Trevor Lawrence sure is not going to be.
Well, here's the thing. I like those kids way too much to wish them to Cleveland.
If we play as bad as we did week 1,
who knows?
We might be in top 1 or 2. Yeah. Because we thought the Jags, we're going to get into our picks later.
The Jags.
We thought the Jaguars
look good.
Hey, can we go back on the record? We all laughed about it. Zach, you didn't even ask us about the game. You just went Colts, done, and moved on. Yeah. And I completely agreed with you at the time because I was like, that for sure. Oh, yeah. Phillip Rivers, the Colts.
Well, they cut all their starters. They traded everybody away.
So, hot take here: if they given the opportunity right now, would you trade Baker Mayfield straight up for Gardner Minshew?
No.
Yes.
I definitely would. I 100% would.
Bringing him into this system. I guess who knows? Maybe he's just down there.
Here's the thing:
around.
This isn't a one-time thing for Gardner Minshew. He did it last year, while Baker was,
he did it a half a year last year, but Baker did that for a half a year. But I mean, he's keeping.
Yeah, and you can say, oh well, Baker got thrown into a new system, another head coach. Gardner's their front office is trying to get rid of the whole team. They want the number 1 overall pick to replace him.
Tell me a receiver on the Jaguars.
Chark, and that's it, man.
Yep. You know what I mean? Baker's playing. Yeah, Baker's playing with way more talent than Gardner Minshew is. Way more talent.
An undrafted rookie is he took 100% of their running back carries.
Yeah,
and I mean
Robinson.
Yeah. Minshew, I mean, I was watching Red Zone and they kept flashing him on the sideline. He's sitting there. He's got that long hair.
That sweet mustache.
The mustache. He is what Baker Mayfield thought. That's what we thought Baker was going to be, a rock star.
Yeah, I completely agree. I like Gardner Minshew a lot. I liked him last year. And he keeps showing me things that Baker Mayfield's not showing me. So if the Jaguars do want to replace him, well, hey, we'll take him next year.
Bring him up, baby.
Yeah.
Because what would you trade him for? Just those two straight up?
I would trade Baker for him straight up.
Wow. It's crazy because, oh my gosh, it's just crazy.
What has Baker done to make you want him on our team?
I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like
it's been a long time.
What's Gardner Minshew done that you really love? Did you love his 170-yard passing game?
I liked he was 19 of 20.
3 touchdowns.
For 3 touchdowns and no turnovers.
No, and here's the thing, too. So, they say after, a quarterback in his rookie year, you got a little bit of an edge because there's not a whole lot of tape on you. You can kind of do some things, get away with some things. Well, Minshew played against the Colts twice last year. That's a division team. He opened with the Colts this year.
They've seen him 3 times.
And it didn't matter.
And how many yards did he have? He had like 180 something.
Yeah.
Baker only had 189 on way more attempts.
More completions.
And
less touchdowns.
Less touchdowns, more interceptions. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess all I said the last couple of days, I wasn't going to panic after week 1. And then
you told me 5 minutes ago, don't panic, man.
And then the more I think about it, the more it's just been bad game after bad game after bad game after bad game for Baker. When was the last time he had a good game? Even some games where his yards go up, his completion percentage is still in the 50s, and he probably still threw 2 picks. I mean, I don't remember his last good game. So it's, not to beat a dead horse, but he's got a lot to do. He's got a lot of improving to do in a very short amount of time, or else I don't think he's going to be our starter much longer.
I agree.
So this game couldn't have went any worse for the Browns. Obviously, we just talked about
here real quick. Last year. So let's go through week 1 through 17. 3 picks. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. Bye week. So in the first part of the season, he didn't go a game without a pick. After the bye week, 1, 0, 0, 0. Very good, Baker. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3. 3 games last year without throwing a pick. Every other game, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games with 2 or more.
How many picks do you have? What, 26, 27?
Last year, yeah, it was a lot.
We're giving Jameis Winston a hard time for throwing 30.
21. 22 touchdowns, 21 picks.
He threw 21 picks. So 9 interceptions is still a lot. He had that 3-game stretch that saved him from being Jameis Winston.
Yep.
Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 freaking yards.
And 30 touchdowns.
30 touchdowns. I mean,
he's a backup too.
And he's a backup now. If Baker wasn't a number 1 pick 2 years ago, he's a backup.
Oh, I agree with that.
He's a backup somewhere.
And I think he will be. I mean, if this continues, Baker, he'll be a backup for another team here in a couple years.
If he's like a Cody Kessler and he's a 3rd-round pick, we've bailed on him.
He's already done.
He's already gone.
Yep.
We've already moved on from him. We're already, we're playing somebody else.
Yeah, so let's hope Thursday night goes differently for Baker, or else I'm going to be in here next Tuesday ripping him again. Well, like I said, this game couldn't have went any worse. So as we were sucking on offense and being awful on defense.
We still got to do the defensive side of it.
Yeah.
Strap in tight, folks. We got to keep going here.
We haven't even mentioned a bulk of these injuries. So this game couldn't have went much worse for us. So we lost. We were terrible. And then our first round draft pick gets hurt. Now I think he's okay. I haven't seen though if he's going to be able to play Thursday.
It's still in the air, man. As of right now, they're saying I don't know if it's going to be a game time decision, but he's not healthy.
So it's not a serious injury if they're talking day to day. And maybe if we weren't such a quick turnaround playing Thursday, if we were playing Sunday, maybe he'd be ready to go. But still, he might miss a game. So our brand new tackle who we're trying to, transition to left, immediately going to be missing games.
Well, and I do recall, like, as soon as I saw Wills go out of the game, I don't know if it was like the same play, the next play, they showed Conklin was also limping around on the field. Now, he'll play, but he was banged up too. I'm like, oh my God.
And I didn't even pay attention. Did JC Treader play?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He was Chubb was laying on top of him on the fumble.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the only reason I remember it, because I just went, God. There it is.
And then Njoku, going to miss 3 weeks at least, MCL sprain. And then, if he rushes back from that, who knows if he's as explosive. The MCL is obviously not the ACL, but if he's coming back in 3 weeks, he might only be 80% for the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then Jacob Phillips, I don't know how bad his injury is, but he posted a picture on Instagram and a real big knee brace.
It didn't look good.
No. So, and he started a linebacker for us.
We got nobody else.
Literally our best player on defense for the game was BJ Goodson. He was leading tackler. I mean,
a career journeyman.
Yeah. A guy that couldn't even cut it for the Packers was our best player on defense.
Yeah.
Can we go into that real quick? Because I love Myles Garrett and I get ripped on it a lot. Can we talk about that real quick? Myles Garrett, 1 tackle. Olivier Vernon, 2 tackles. And then we only had 2 sacks for the game. And
thank God we have Adrian Claiborne.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. He was probably... as far as the line goes, him and I thought Ogunjobi had a very good game.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
I don't know about very good game, but he was memorable.
Well, they threw the ball 25 times. Lamar Jackson did. Myles Garrett couldn't get 1 sack. Obviously, or a pressure. I don't even remember him getting a pressure or a hurry. I saw he recovered the fumble. And that was the only time I heard his name.
It says Garrett had 1 QB hit.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I mean, it was
1 QB hit.
It was probably after he pitched the ball or threw it for
40 yards.
It wasn't a sack.
Lamar Jackson on the behind said nice play.
I mean, I do you guys feel like it's time to start talking about Myles Garrett the way we just talked about Baker Mayfield? I mean, did we waste 2 back-to-back first number 1 overall picks?
You guys remember in our hot takes episode when I said I'd trade Myles Garrett and Odell for Russell Wilson? You guys all said I was crazy. And then Baker sucked in this game. Russell Wilson, I don't know if you saw, was magnificent.
Yeah. He was very
Odell was awful in our game, and Myles Garrett had 1 tackle. So
call up Seattle. Call him up right now. Yeah. We'll do it.
Tell him to eat his pancakes and send us Russell Wilson.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, am I looking that crazy now?
No, you're not.
You know what I mean? Because, in that, I suggested that trade where I thought Odell was going to have a good season. And now who knows, he might still have a good season, but based on what I saw week 1, it's not looking good.
Odell's going to have a good season as soon as we trade him to somebody else.
Exactly.
That's what's going to happen. I don't put a ton of blame on Odell because I just think we don't know how to incorporate him into our offense.
I'm going to tell you what, if they're serious about it, they need to be talking to San Francisco.
They just signed Mohamed Sanu.
Okay. Well, then we really need to be talking to them. Like, how about we give you Odell, give us... I mean, it's not like they'll laugh at a first. I mean,
second?
If we can,
we'll
scrape a second.
Nick Mullen, your backup quarterback, we'll take him. He won a few games for you.
I'm sure. I mean, Shanahan would just be licking his chops like, give me that talent. I'll figure out how to make it work.
At receiver. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
so Blake, real quick, because we had a hot take about Odell. Do you believe me now that he's a crybaby?
No, why?
Oh my gosh, dude, you could see it all game long.
I'm with Zach on this one.
Walking off the field. There's literally, I remember it was like first down or second down, and we ran a play, and he didn't get the ball, and he didn't even go back to the huddle. He turned around and just walked right off the field to the sideline.
Well, different personnel groupings.
Oh my gosh, he is such a crybaby. It's not even funny. I can't believe that you're sticking up for him. At least Baker's out there with his heart on his sleeve, and you're bashing him. Odell, he cries if he doesn't get the ball.
Well, he should. I want him to get the ball. He's probably our most explosive player, and we can't find a way to give him the ball ever.
Hey, who was our best wide receiver when Baker had his best year?
Well, he wasn't on the team.
Look, Jarvis Landry can get open.
We don't need him. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think we need him.
No, I'm with you, Zach, because, I mean, the thing with, okay, you can blame Baker and the system and not being able to get him the ball. He is supposedly, I'm going to put this in quotes because I don't believe it anymore, an elite receiver in the NFL. Those guys don't need manufactured plays. Yeah, they don't need schemed for because they just they dominate with their talent, their skill, their route running. They get open. You know, they're catching like. He had
1,000 yards last year.
How many times did he catch the ball to and run 2 yards backwards? Every catch.
Tries to get cute every time.
I mean, we're saying that he doesn't get open, but he had 1,000 yards last year.
Well, if he keeps up at the pace he's at, he's gonna
you know what I mean?
A few more catches.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we're talking about how it's not the system. You know, he's just got to be. I feel like he had 1,000 yards last year, and they were all him. We didn't get him any of those yards. He had to get all those yards. So
who was anybody watching Monday night last night? The Giants and Steelers.
I watched a little of that game. Of that.
Okay, so one, I thought Daniel Jones looked good. I thought he looked. I mean, he put on a bunch of muscle this year, and he looks like a totally different quarterback. Big Ben finally got back in the swing of things. But okay, to the Odell thing. Odell left New York and was unhappy, and everybody wanted to blame Eli Manning. Anybody know Eli Manning? I didn't know until last night. He's 7th all time in passing yards, all time NFL history, and he's top 10 in passing touchdowns NFL history. So as much as maybe Eli made Odell what he was, and Odell had to make circus catches, but Eli was the one who put it there for him to be able to make that catch. Baker can't do that right now.
Here's the thing. Another thing. We gave Juju Smith-Schuster a ton of crap last year for being awful. And then he gets his quarterback back, and he had a pretty good game.
He looked pretty solid.
So what would a good quarterback do for our receivers?
No, that's very true. But I'm looking at last year's stats for Beckham, and the most receptions he had in a game, he had 8 against the Cardinals. Okay. Most receptions. I don't know, man. Like, I'm just looking at these numbers. He had 200-yard games last year.
So if I'm Odell, this is exactly what I got out of Odell. If I'm a mind reader, and I'm not saying I am, but Odell in the first quarter didn't have any target, and in his head, what he was thinking is, this is just like last year all over again. And I think a lot of Browns players were thinking that way of, man, we got rid of Freddie Kitchens. That was supposed to be the problem. Nope, we're getting killed again in week 1 against a division rival. That, I mean, it doesn't even look like we belong on the same field with offensively or defensively.
I agree.
And I think that and I'm with a lot of the people out there. I think that for the Browns to change, there's kind of one big thing that has to happen. I don't think it's coaching staff. I don't think that it's the players we have. I think somebody needs to think about maybe listing on Craigslist if anybody's interested in the Browns team or the franchise.
I agree.
Wants to buy him.
I completely agree.
I'm sure that will go cheap on the dollar for anybody who'd be interested.
You think we need new owners, huh?
I think it starts at the top, man.
Yeah.
I think the Browns need new owners. The Indians need new owners. I mean, at least Dan Gilbert he can be an idiot at times, but he's spending money out there. He's willing to do whatever it takes to try to
I actually
win.
said this, though. Could you imagine? So the Indians owners are cheapskates, but our front office is very good. They make a lot out of nothing year after year. We're always relevant in baseball. The Indians are. Imagine if the Browns had that front office. Like, I mean, the Indians are not inept. When it comes to the draft and it comes to finding talent, the Indians, I mean, everybody on the Indians roster you never heard of 5 years ago, and then we turn them into the best pitching staff in baseball. Imagine if the Browns front office is just so inept. And I would say, this is a big thing. Do we need to make a QB change sooner rather than later?
I think that depends.
Do we need that spark?
That depends on
if everybody's going, Freddie was supposed to be the problem and we're still out here getting killed, can't do anything. Who's to say what do you put Case in and all of a sudden we start moving the ball, lighting it up? Sometimes you just got to make that switch.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. So what's the goal for the Browns this year? Is it to develop talent and, get everybody up to speed on the new scheme and with the new coaching so that we're ready to rock and roll next year? Or is it to try to make the playoffs this year? Because
And I know that there's a huge difference between like middle school football and the NFL, but it doesn't take that long to learn a scheme. Okay. If I could teach 7th graders a playbook in like 2 weeks for their first game, NFL players can learn a playbook in a couple weeks. It does not, we shouldn't still be talking about new scheme.
Well, sure. Cause they've been like we said earlier, they've been doing it for years.
Yeah. They've been playing football since they were in 7th grade. It doesn't take that long. And they got 5-hour practices and then meetings and all kinds of stuff. I see 7th graders for an hour and a half 5 days a week, and they get ready to play.
Okay, good point. Think about like last year, Justin Fields transfers to a new school, new system, new team, everything. He's in school.
Yeah.
So he's doing football like part-time. It's not his full-time job. He's still got to go to class, do all that stuff.
Supposedly.
Well, yeah, whatever. But still, but he learns a new system.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to hear this new system stuff. I think there's a huge problem with the Browns right now, and I don't like saying it out loud.
So I know that we had I think we had a good draft, but how much blame has to go to Andrew Berry for what he rolled out there on defense? Like, because we still have a ton of cap money.
No, I'm not going to. No, because Andrew Berry, the injuries, man. The defense we put out is not the defense he put together. We don't have Greedy Williams out there. We don't have Kevin Johnson.
Yeah,
we don't have Del Pitt.
Yeah.
We're missing. The only holes on this defense was supposed to be middle linebacker, and another one of those just fell off.
Yeah.
So I can't put injuries on Andrew Berry. Now, Clay Matthews is still sitting out there, and we just had another middle linebacker.
He's not playing. So he was offered a position. I can't remember exactly with who. I want to say it was something like Seattle or something like that. And he said he is not playing. He's not going to play.
I know Denver. Wanted him when Von Miller went down.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Denver. Yep. Said they offered him a contract, and he said, "I'm not playing."
All right, guys. Here's the guy we haven't talked about, Kevin Stefanski.
Okay.
No blame being. Not a whole lot of blame being thrown his way. We're blaming Baker. We're blaming all these things, but he's got to show. If he comes out this Thursday night against the Bengals and doesn't look great, what are we? We were ripping Freddie any chance we got. Hey, Freddie. Hey, we were just talking about explosive plays. Freddie was trying. He was trying to run the fullback sweep to the wide receiver, pass back to the quarterback. He was. They just didn't work. But he was trying those explosive plays. That's all we tried. And we. Right now we're running. Here we're going to run the ball on first, second down, and we're going to probably throw on third. And then we were like, oh, wait, they know that's coming because we did that the first 3 drives. So we're going to pass every single down. And we're just not built for that. And I think he's still trying to figure that part out of not having the camp. So that's the only part where we said, we don't want to know the new system. I didn't like that he didn't say that who was calling plays until 5 minutes before kickoff. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'll hold the play sheet and call the plays. So that should have been a decision from day one.
Yep.
And I would have liked the OC to be doing that. I wish that then the head coach doesn't have to focus solely on, just calling plays, running the offense, because you do that, then you're over with the offensive team during the entire time your defense is on the field. And, oh, holy crap, they just scored a touchdown.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm going to say this. I didn't think Freddie should have been calling plays because look at all other aspects of our team. We had 18 penalties. Our team, we looked more organized. We had an identity on offense. We only had 8 penalties. So I can't put – Stefanski, in my opinion, is the least of my worries after week 1.
No, I you know what? Zach brings up some good points, I think. And now that I'm really thinking about it, Hugh Jackson came in. He was an OC. We hired him head coach. He's going to call the plays. Sucked. Freddie Kitchens, OC, bring him in. He's going to call the plays. sucked. So we're like, hey, that worked out really well the last two coaches. So now let's bring in Stefanski. Oh, hey, he was an OC and he's going to call the plays. Whenever he said that he was going to be calling the plays for this game, or for this season, I'm like,
sucked.
That's
Yeah, but
that's just writing on the wall right there, man. I'm tired of this. Like,
some of the best teams in the league, though, their head coaches call plays.
Yes, but not the Browns.
A lot of head coaches call plays, if you think about it.
But
Andy Reid,
the established one.
Right? Andy Reid's been doing it for 30 years.
Doug Peterson wasn't established. He won a Super Bowl.
Yes, but the Eagles haven't been the same.
Look what he do week 1 against whoever, Jacksonville or whoever it was he played, Washington.
Well,
how'd he look?
They can't. Well, they can't.
Dwayne Haskins beat him.
They can't block anybody. Who else? Sean McVay went to a Super Bowl in his second year calling plays. Sean Payton. A lot of people call plays. I think it becomes a problem calling plays if the rest of your team is in complete dysfunction and you have 20 penalties a game and stuff like that. When you're getting, but that wasn't a problem for the Browns.
For a first-time head coach, I think it's a bad idea to try to do that. I know, okay, Sean McVay is kind of a rare breed. Like, that doesn't really happen.
Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, but he was an OC for a very long time. He was OC longer than Stefanski was.
I'm just saying, I just threw out 8 names that are doing it. There's only 32 teams in the league.
Hold on a second, though. The people you're throwing out there, Sean Payton, Drew Brees. You got Sean McVay. He's a little different, but Jared Goff is a legit quarterback in the NFL.
Jared Goff sucks.
Jimmy G out in San Fran.
Jimmy G's not that great either.
Jimmy G, all he does is win.
Yeah, because he had Belichick and Kyle Shanahan and a great front seven.
Okay, will you take Baker over Jimmy G in Cleveland?
No. That's because I didn't say that Jimmy G was the worst quarterback in the league. I think we have a bottom of all. If I ranked
so down on Baker, you were so high on him. You probably got his jersey on order right now in your cart from NFL.com.
I was. If you ranked the 32 starting quarterbacks in the league right now, he'd probably be in your bottom 5.
I don't know.
We're all doing the quick calculations.
Yeah.
Tell me a starting quarterback in the league right now that you would rather have Baker than that person.
I don't want Mitch Trubisky. I don't care what he did on Sunday.
What about Burrow?
I still want Baker over Burrow right now.
We'll find out on Thursday.
Quick, man.
Dwayne Haskins.
Tyrod Taylor. I still don't want Tyrod Taylor. I mean, look at those two teams that they were playing. That's what Burrow went up against. The Chargers team that has no defense. All their best players are hurt.
I wouldn't take Sam Darnold.
Right.
Sam Darnold. Oh my gosh, the New York Jets offense. I have where I can watch all the games, and he is just, oh my gosh, it's terrible.
That's bad.
Le'Veon Bell. He's terrible.
He's out.
He's hurt.
He wanted that money. Now he can't stay on the field.
They need to trade him.
I think he's at least a bottom 8 quarterback, at least.
Keep going up. If we keep bringing up these names, Blake's going to be like, all right, he's at least in the bottom 20.
No,
he's in the bottom 20 somewhere.
And I can make, even for some of these guys you're saying, I think you can make the argument for the guy that you don't want.
I talked a lot of crap about 2 people, and I got to take back on both of them. The first one being Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson can throw the ball. I'm very wrong. I need to say right now, I'm way off on that. I watched that guy dice us up big time. Even if we were injured, he diced us up.
People were wide open, though.
Well, good enough. He could throw to him. Baker couldn't do that.
His first touchdown pass, Mark Andrews bailed him out so bad.
Oh, yeah.
That dude was...
that was one of the first passes of the game for him, so I'll give him a little break on that one, because the pass to Marquise Brown down the field,
was
50 yards in the air, and put it
on a dime, dog. Yep, dropped it. What about Josh Allen? We could have had that guy. He looked pretty good. And obviously he was...
Somebody said he couldn't throw, I remember. I think we had a fantasy football draft at my house.
I dropped him too,
Blake said he can't throw. You don't want anybody from Buffalo.
Well,
he's just not that accurate. But when you've got guys down the field, burning the defenders, it doesn't really matter. You just throw it out there in the vicinity and they make the catch because they can adjust.
Well, and Josh Allen can do more things too. So, he might not be that accurate of a passer, but he's a crazy good athlete.
He led their team in rushing.
That kind of stuff. Baker, if he's not accurate, what is he? He's an unathletic white guy running around out there with a bunch of guys who are way more athletic than he is.
Oh, well.
Hey, how about I love the announcers they brought up about, they were like, well, Baker, he showed up more in shape this year, but when he's kind of scrambling out of the pocket, he still can't get away from anybody. They mentioned that was, and it's true. Baker, like when he gets outside the pocket and I'm like, all right, here we go. He can at least like maybe turn upfield, get 5 yards. And all of a sudden he's running for his life because some 350-pound lineman is chasing him down.
That's another thing too. So I'm a firm believer you don't need to be 6'4" to be quarterback in the NFL. I think we've seen enough shorter players play well, but Baker has not figured out like throwing windows. When he sits in, he gets so many balls batted down. I mean, Kyler Murray's 5'3", and he looks like he's going to be pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
And Drew Brees.
Russell Wilson's 5'10",
yeah,
I think.
Drew Brees is first ballot Hall of Famer, GOAT talk. Baker has yet to figure out these throwing lanes, like in between guys, what these shorter guys have to do. He gets so many balls batted down. It's insane.
Calais Campbell
all
over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Calais Campbell, like he's probably not wanting to play the Browns because Baker just kept throwing it in his elbows. He's not even tipping the ball with his hand. He's just literally like blocking things with his forearm, his bicep, and that's because he's not even hitting his hands. At least some of these other quarterbacks they get tipped balls. It's like somebody's got
just a very tip or something. Yeah. So. I don't know. I think you guys can kind of see where I maybe the Browns' problem is. So I don't know if I've made that clear enough.
I think you're wrong if you say the Browns have a problem. They have many.
Multiple things. There's multiple problems.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, I was going to kind of move us into the Bengals preview.
That's what I was going to do too.
Okay. So one thing that scares me to death about this Bengals game now is the Bengals have talent on the offensive side of the ball, and man, our defense looked shady at best. And so, a game that I picked us to win rather easily.
Yep.
After watching Myles Garrett he gets one tackle. So I think a big key for this game is we need to pressure the crap out of Joe Burrow and force him into making quick decisions. Try to get some turnovers. I don't know if we can do it.
Who's going to pressure him?
Yeah.
Got to be my guy, Miles. He's got to show up.
Miles Garrett has to show up in this game.
Wasn't there another guy on the D line, like Olivier something or other? I forget.
Olivier Sheridan.
No one said his name on Sunday, so I don't know.
No, and he had more tackles than the other guy.
I legit didn't hear Olivier Vernon's name.
No.
It's like he wasn't even out there.
You wouldn't have heard Myles Garrett's name either if he wouldn't have recovered that fumble.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have said his name. That's how bad it was.
We have to pressure this guy. We cannot. And Joe Burrow is a better athlete than I think what people give him credit for.
You see his 25-yard or whatever touchdown run?
We have to get pressure on this guy. And we got to get it in his face, up the middle. Don't let him out of the pocket. Force him into some quick decisions and some bad decisions. Hopefully force some turnovers. And then on offense, we need to get back to our identity, that first quarter and a half where we're, two tight ends, mixing it up. We ran the ball well against against Ravens. They had 180 some yards rushing or something.
Yeah, like I said, 5.5 and 6 yards to carry for those guys.
We can't get solid. You can't get down. That way we don't have to go out there and throw the ball 40 times. And I need to see some explosive plays. We have talent. Can we please get the ball? I feel like the only way we ever get Odell the ball is like a quick screenplay. Where we just turn and throw it to him at the line of scrimmage. That almost never works in the NFL. Turns out corners in the NFL, they run 4.2 40s. Yeah. They can close that 10-yard gap pretty quick. So we need to find a way to get these guys the ball. I'm hoping Stefanski, like we said, Minnesota, his first month, we were like, man, this guy sucks at calling plays. He can't get Diggs the ball. He can't get Thielen the ball. They're not doing anything. And then, by the end of the season, they're super explosive. I'm hoping that's what happens for us. But man, the defense has to show up. And now we're a linebacker. I might have to go play linebacker for him. And I'm not running a 4.2 40.
Are you sure? 4.3 though, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I'd run that.
I said 4.
I don't even know if I can run a 4.2.
I agree with that.
I don't even know if I can run a 4.210. I get to 8 yards and tear my hamstring. I'd fall over at the 9-yard mark, never finish.
So I did want to throw out there. So I looked up kind of Burrow, what he did week 1 against the Chargers. So as bad as we said Baker just was with his 33 QBR, Joe Burrow put up a whopping 20.1 QBR in week 1. So not great. 23 for 36 for 193 yards. Joe Mixon, he ran for 70 yards. But pretty much we got to put this guy in a situation where they have to pass the ball. As good as Joe Burrow was in college, we got to, even though we're depleted in our secondary, I still think that we don't want them. We got to try to get up a score and get the ball back, and then hopefully kind of put some cushion between us to where they feel like they have to throw the ball, because Joe Mixon can be an animal, and he's burned teams in the past. He was a big factor in why we lost at the end of last year. I know our players were, we kind of gave up, but Joe Mixon was also, tearing us up. So I think that we got to force Burrow to throw the ball. I think that he'll still make some of those rookie mistakes and some interceptions. We can get some pressure on him, hopefully. And that's our biggest key to the game.
I hope when you say get him to throw the ball, that it's with some pressure. Because if it's him just chucking it around and it's Sendejo trying to cover people and getting burned, and that could be another really, really long night.
If AJ Green's on the field, which he was on Sunday, they have better receivers than we do.
Yeah.
We got AJ Green, Tyler Boyd, John Ross,
T. Higgins. Was T. Higgins out there? Is he?
I don't even see.
He didn't make a catch or anything. I don't know if he was playing or not, but
they got talent, and they got speed. John Ross is fast. AJ Green's AJ Green. He had 9 targets. They're going to try to get him. If he's healthy, I mean, he's an elite receiver.
Yeah.
And so,
and that's okay. So that's what kind of worries me going into Thursday night is, so the Browns played against a good defense, got slaughtered. The Bengals played against a good defense, should have won the game.
Yeah.
They're one bad offensive pass interference call away from being 1-0 right now.
Yeah, or going to overtime with a kicker. I mean, it's like every middle school football player who fumbled and then all of a sudden his hands were broke or whatnot, or he had some freak injury. He missed the kick and then just instantly, my leg! I pulled something.
You look like me running the 10-yard dash.
We didn't even talk about the kicker thing. So the Bengals today signed Austin Seibert.
Yep.
That's such a Patriots move, in my opinion.
So we cut him. They take him,
which we call as soon as the game was over, I literally was like, Seibert doesn't make it till tomorrow morning. And people were like, I don't know.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I was like, there's no way.
I think he'll be okay. And I'm like, absolutely not. Nope.
Well, how Cleveland would this be, though, if we're in a tight game and Seibert makes a game-winning field goal against
that? Absolutely. That's a Cleveland
if it comes down to that, he's not missing.
No, unless it's in the dog pound end. He sucked down there.
Well, what gets me is Seibert comes out and misses 2 key kicks early in the game, so we cut him. So then we go and we sign the double doink.
Yeah, double doink. Yeah, so double doink, and then
what?
This is the crazy part is
Parkey's had a good career though, hasn't he? Other than
early career.
No, bro. This is his 7th. Well, so it's his 6th team. He's coming back to the Browns. He's already played for the Browns. This is the 7th different team that he's been on since I don't even know, 2014, 2015. He's on a team every year. And he's on 2 teams in 1 year.
The thing is, I saw the Browns cut Seibert. I'm like, good. Sign Parkey. Not good.
So it's crazy. It's crazy. He didn't have a bad year when he played for Cleveland, but he did have 1 game where he missed 3 kicks. And then it led to a loss. That's a very Cleveland.
Ever since Phil Dawson left, we've yet to solidify kicker.
Yeah.
It's insane. We spent a 5th round draft pick on Seibert.
Well, and then those guys leave, and guess what? They're wildly successful.
Zane Gonzalez was a Pro Bowler.
Yep. They're wildly successful in the next team they go to.
Now, here's the thing. Cleveland's not an easy place to kick. We don't always have the best field conditions. The wind swirls a ton. But to go Zane Gonzalez from, he was awful in Cleveland to a Pro Bowler. That's just so Cleveland.
Yeah, and Seibert was also kicking in Baltimore.
Must be tough to kick in Baltimore.
Yeah, I remember Zane Gonzalez missed
the ocean swirling.
Zane Gonzalez missed kicks, I think, in the Superdome at the Saints.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a lot of swirling wind up there in the Superdome.
Artificial air.
Yeah, well, and there's it's a problem in the whole NFL, really. I was watching a bunch of different games, and nobody really can find a kicker at all. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if them, maybe they were using deflated balls or whatnot that Tom Brady was pushing out there, Josh. I don't know what they were using, but I don't remember them being so many missed field goals. And I know they moved the extra point back, but nobody was missing 30-yard field goals before.
No, but moving the extra point back has made a way bigger impact than I ever thought it would.
I know.
I still thought everybody, it was just a guaranteed, and people are missing it. Like, I wish they just move it back, because I feel like if you get the touchdown, then you earn the easy point.
I watched Boswell miss one yesterday.
I don't know. I missed the extra point just being the extra point. I don't want to have to hold my breath for the extra point.
Well,
and the announcers jinxed Boswell yesterday. They were like, Boswell really had a bounce back year last year, didn't miss many field goals or whatnot. Dang. And it was like 10 minutes later, he missed a field goal. I was like, that's what the announcers do to you. So with the whole Seibert thing, so are we having fans this week?
Yes, 6,000.
Right?
6,000.
So it's not going to be very loud. Are we going to pipe in some booze when Seibert goes out?
You're not allowed to.
Or whatnot?
If you have fans
in, cannot pump in any artificial sound. If you have 0 fans, you can do as much as you want.
I don't understand how we can only have 6,000. I watched that Chiefs game on Thursday night, and they had like 20,000 people.
It's a governor decision.
Yeah,
there's more people at the Massillon Tigers game than there is at the Browns game for Thursday.
Yeah, and there's the Browns field holds 70,000 people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but anybody else feel like with the Ravens, pumping in their noise that we were at a high school football game with the marching band playing? I felt like that was the noise that they chose. They were like, they went to the Friday night game and they recorded the sound and they just put that on the speakers or whatnot and thought, oh yeah, this will work.
The piped in sound, I was watching some of the Saints Buccaneers game, and at the Saints game, it was so bad. Like, something would happen and then it would be like a 10-second delay. Then all of a sudden, like, some noise would come in. It was like I was watching a Madden simulation from 2012. It was like where the sound was it was so bad, and I was like, man, they should just run some ambient noise the whole game, and then every once in a while turn it up, because this is terrible.
Just let people back in the freaking stadiums. My God.
But all right, so let's pressure Joe Burrow on Thursday. Let's not turn the ball over. Baker, can you please look like a competent NFL quarterback, and Myles Garrett maybe try to do what we just paid you to be the highest defensive player in the NFL to do.
Oh, you mean our 2 number 1 overall picks? Please play like professional players. Great. Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Sign me up to some of that.
Control the clock. Just run the ball with 2 elite number 1 running backs. Run the ball.
Yep.
Give them the business.
Let's figure some things out. Let's at least show some sparks. Show some okay, we got some things to build on. Because after week 1, what do we have to build on?
Well,
there's no building blocks.
Me and Blake kind of talked about it real quick. Cincinnati's going to be hungry. I think that they're a team that has a lot to prove. I don't know how hungry Cleveland is. I watched Odell just kind of, whatever. I saw a lot of not really excited to be in Baltimore stuff going on from Cleveland Browns players. So I don't know. We'll get to our picks, but that team, they're gonna be excited, and I'm not talking about Cleveland.
All right, well, let's move into our weekly game picks thing before we wrap this up. Zach, you got our record from last week?
Yes, please tell everybody.
We got bringing up the rear was Justin with a 9-7 record. I went 10-6. Blake went 11-5, and Josh went 12-4.
Well done. That Washington football team upset.
That's right, baby.
That's what separated us.
Well done.
That's crazy.
It's because the Eagles suck.
You know what's crazy is at halftime of that game, the Eagles were winning, and I was watching the game with Justin. I was like, I don't know what Josh was doing picking Washington. I was like, I don't know what he was thinking. And then they came back and won. Yeah. And I was like, that SOB's a genius.
I've watched the Eagles for the last couple of years, enough times to know that they're not a good team. But all right, to the picks.
All right, Zach, lay them on us.
Just want to throw out there real quick for all of our fans that watched the last episode and realized we forgot to pick the Baltimore-Cleveland game. We won't make that mistake this week.
And we all knew the Browns were going to lose.
Yeah. Don't worry, nobody picked the Browns.
Yeah. All right, Zach.
All right, so we'll leave the Browns game for last, but we will remember it. I even have a note on here to say remember to pick the Browns game. So we are going to go with the New York Jets at the Chicago Bears. Whoever wants to start us off.
Well, hang on a second. I think it's the Giants at the Bears.
Yeah, it is the Giants of the Bears.
Oh, yeah, Giants. Yeah,
what
just
week are
play
you-
San Fran.
Yeah, the right
Yeah.
city.
Okay.
Right city, wrong team. So you got your Giants. Giants and Bears.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Bears in this one. They're at home.
I'm also going to go Bears.
I am not going to take the Bears. I'm going to take the Giants.
I think
because
this
I
one-
like what I saw.
Can we say something about the Giants though? I don't know if you guys saw this, but Ben Roethlisberger outrushed Saquon Barkley,
Yeah.
Saquon had like
Saquon can't
16
run.
carries for 9 yards or something.
and Saquon had a 38-yard run or something like that. And then so I saw on the rest of his carries, he averaged -2 yards per run. I don't want to say I'm a prophet, but I called that on many episodes ago that the man is one big run and then a bunch of terrible runs. That's what his games are. And it's exactly what happened in week
Very
1.
good defense also.
The thing
Not
is,
to take away from you. Very good
Saquon's
defense.
a very good running back, but Blake keeps saying these things, and then I turn on the game, I'm like, that's exactly what's happening.
He averaged -2 yards a run on every other run
I'm like,
except for his 38-yard
it's hard
run.
to argue with this stuff when you actually
happens,
seeing it with your
yes.
eyes, and you're like, well, yeah, there it is.
All right, Zach, who'd you pick?
I am going with the Giants as well.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Zach, hey, me and yours,
I like-
we're
I
probably
like
going to
what I saw
buy
out of
dinner
Danny
for somebody. Maybe
Danny
we can
Dimes
just
looked good.
We'll
He
just
did.
take both these guys out and pay for both their meals if it's if we're wrong.
Right.
Crazy thing
so
about Daniel.
Danny Dimes, I thought he looked good. A lot of his and one of his best drive, they converted on I think like three third down, 4 third downs and a 4th down. And then he goes down there and he's trying to extend a play and just gets hit and the ball gets picked.
Yeah,
I mean,
19
they were in the
play
game
drive.
Like a 10-minute drive.
Yeah, insane. It was awesome. They got some
Yeah,
weapons.
so, okay.
If they
Next
stay
game,
healthy.
we got the Atlanta Falcons at Dallas.
Oof.
All right, I am definitely taking Dallas in this one.
I'm going to go Dallas. They should have won against the Rams.
Another OPI that was just total
Terrible.
Oh my gosh, let them play.
I also take Dallas. It's in Jerry World.
Yep, I'm going Dallas as well. Even though Atlanta, I mean, what a week 1 they had to go up against with Russell Wilson. They probably weren't expecting like 31 of 34 or whatever it was that he was almost perfect.
Well, if they'd watched this show, they'd know I think he's worth Odell and Miles. So they would have been ready for it.
All right, we got Detroit, another team, heartbreaking loss at Green Bay. By the way, I picked Green Bay to win week 1 just for you guys all to remember.
Man, how would you guys like to be DeAndre Swift, man? First game in the NFL, rookie, all this hype around you. You've already scored a touchdown in the game.
Yep.
You're
I was
trying to
watching
win.
that live.
Stafford puts the ball on your chest in the end zone. No one around you, nothing.
And he drops a
And you
game-winning
drop
touchdown.
it.
Unbelievable. I was watching it live. I couldn't believe it. I'm going Packers.
Packers.
Yeah, I'm going Packers. They look great.
I'm going Green Bay. I think I'm going not Green Bay. Sorry, I'm going to go Detroit. I'm going Detroit on this one.
Dude, Aaron Rodgers is
You
out.
just trying to buy us dinner, Zach? Is that what your goal is here?
I'm going Detroit. I think they bounce back. Remember, I told you comeback player of the year is Matt Stafford. He didn't lose that game.
Is it true?
So, okay, Jacksonville at Tennessee.
You want me to start this one
Yes,
off?
please.
So, man, Jacksonville, dangerous team. I'm going with the Titans.
I'm going to go Titans also. I'm all in on the Minshew mania, but Tennessee's got a real good D.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me the Titans. When you have Derrick Henry and you can do what he does, and then I'm done talking.
Yeah, I'm going Titans too. Partly because I really like Mike Vrabel's mask of please give Derrick Henry the ball. Having that stitched on it, I thought that was a good touch. So we got Minnesota at Indianapolis. Minnesota coming off. I thought, I didn't think they looked good at all. I think that so as bad as they looked, I was like, man, maybe Stefanski really was their piece of what made him so good last year.
I was
and then
complaining Kirk Cousins had like 2 pass attempts in the first half. I was like, who's calling plays for them? Woody Hayes?
Well, and the thing with the Vikings too is their defense is not
what we thought it was going to be.
Not good. So I'll go first, and I will take the Colts.
I'm I'm going to take the Colts too, but I don't know if you guys noticed this. Who had more interceptions in week 1 than Baker Mayfield? Phillip Rivers. He had 2. The guy just can't stop throwing interceptions.
Yeah.
So
Right, which also going back contributed to Gardner Minshew's win. An interception for a touchdown. Another touchdown drive was 4 plays, 27 yards for Minshew. So just thrown out there for his great game that Blake said he had, that he'd trade Baker straight up.
19 of 20 with 3 touchdowns is still a good game.
yeah.
I'm going to go.
Yeah, go ahead, Zach.
I'm going to go before Justin here. I'm going to pick Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Minnesota. I absolutely agree. Bounce back game. Yep.
All right, Justin, what do you got this one? Buffalo at Miami.
Buffalo at Miami. Well, I'm going to go with the guy that I talked a lot of crap about, old Joshua Allen. Just throwing him out there. I'll go with the Bills.
I'm going to take the Bills also.
Bills.
So anybody, I know that Cam Newton looked good, but anybody on my Buffalo train and them winning the division after week 1?
Now, hold on. I do want to talk about Newton real quick, just because that was kind of my thing in the offseason, was I didn't think he was going to be up to snuff.
You were the only guy
Okay.
that wasn't your thing.
So what do you have? 15 carries for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. The dude is still running the ball.
Yeah.
But I don't know how well he looked passing.
I didn't get to watch the game. That game. I was too busy watching the Browns get throttled.
It was average Cam Newton. It wasn't anything brilliant. So I'm going Buffalo in that game. But yeah, I think that Cam Newton with Josh McDaniels, that connection Josh Daniels I wish we'd have had him in Cleveland when we were trying to get him, and he saw the writing on the wall and said he wanted no part of that. I'll stick with old Bill here in New England.
Cam Newton was 15 and 19.
All right, next game.
All right, San Fran at the Jets.
I'm going San Fran. I can't believe they lost to the Cardinals.
The Cardinals look very
Dude,
good.
I don't care. The Jets blow. Give me San Fran.
Yeah, I will also take San Francisco. The Jets are definitely going to get Trevor Lawrence next year. They're going to get rid of Sam Darnold, trade him to Cleveland. We'll be stuck with him. It'll be a very Cleveland move.
Yep, I would agree. I'm taking San Fran. Hey, just saying real quick that this is the most you guys have ever looked at the camera, because you guys are looking at me when I'm talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got the LA Rams after their win on Sunday night at Philly. Team looking to bounce back after week 1 loss.
And they won't. I take the Rams.
I'm going to go the Rams.
I'll take Rams.
I can't sit here and say the Eagles suck and then pick them.
Yeah.
Yep, full sweep Rams there. We'll move into Denver at Pittsburgh with Big Ben back. Heinz Field.
You want me to start it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking Steelers. Man, Big Ben.
I'm going to take the Steelers also. How about a tough draw for the Broncos, by the way? They got to play Titans week 1 with a good defense, then turn around, go across the country, and play another elite defense.
But I will say the Broncos held their own against the Titans. And, I do not expect the Steelers to walk away with this one like they did against the Giants, but I'm picking the Steelers in this game.
Yep, I'm going Steelers too, just to make my wife happy. So
That's
we'll go
important.
Carolina at Tampa Bay. Tom Brady kind of struggled a little bit offensively down there. They got some some garbage time yards there late in the game. So what do you guys got here?
I'm going to go Bucks. They just got more talent, I think, than the Panthers. But if CMC gets loose,
Yeah, I don't know. The Bucks look pretty good. I'm going to go Bucks.
I'll take Bucks. I want to take Panthers, but I'm gonna take Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Tampa Bay too. But this is one of those games where if CMC does get going and Tampa Bay finds themselves down, that they could find themselves trying to play against the clock. Okay, Washington at Arizona, one of the hottest teams after week 1, kind of with Kyler Murray. Everybody's raving about, they could be the real deal.
I'm going to go Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins had a pretty good debut with his new team. Kyler Murray looked good. And I guess the Washington football team, Dwayne Haskins, they got to win a couple games before I'll start picking them. I know I'm out like Josh over here.
I'm going Arizona as well here. I got to go with one Oklahoma quarterback that I know can win.
Wow. I'll go Arizona also.
All right, I'll go Washington.
Are you really?
Attaboy.
Oh, this is his team. He's going to ride with them all
Here's that thing,
season.
though.
They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be 16-0.
They're leading the division.
Chase Young and that D line is pretty
great.
good.
They look great.
I don't know. I think they do enough to give Haskins enough opportunity to move the ball down, and I think they pulled out.
And one big thing that I like with Washington is Coach Ron Rivera. I mean, how big of an impact he's made. You know, I know that there was reports, you know, he did get diagnosed with cancer, you know, right before the season starts. He's getting IVs at halftime just so he can be out there for the second half. So not a team that you can really – it's a hard team to root against.
Yep.
Okay, Kansas City at the Chargers.
I'm just going to go ahead and just take Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's another clean sweep across the board there. All right. Kind of a tough one. You talked about tough draws, Blake. How do you feel if you're Houston and Bill O'Brien and you got to go against Baltimore week 2 after you just got beat by the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens too. I know the Browns didn't put up much of a fight, but, man, they looked really good.
Yeah, and I did say the Ravens were going to lose a game or two this year. It's not going to be this one.
No, the Texans, I wasn't that impressed with it.
No.
David Johnson looked good, and that's about it.
I'll take Baltimore.
I thought you were going to go with Houston there for a second, Justin.
No.
All right, a game that everybody would have had circled on their board with Tom Brady still there, but still Cam Newton, New England takes on Seattle. Russell Wilson.
I still got this one circled.
It's a good game. I think it's a solid game.
I'm going to go Seattle.
In Seattle.
I'm going Seattle.
It's in Seattle. I'm taking Seattle.
Seattle. Russ is cooking.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook. Or not Russell Westbrook. Russell Wilson.
He's actually not playing.
Russell Westbrook. He might be looking for a new team or whatnot. He's playing. Okay, takes us into Monday night game. Drew Brees looking like old Drew Brees, but Justin. I did get the alert that Michael Thomas is going to miss several weeks.
Yes.
So hopefully you didn't draft him in your fantasy team. Because
didn't Thomas take him?
And I'm gonna send him a trade request as soon as we're done here. So I'm gonna start this off. I'm gonna take the Raiders.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Raiders. We'll see how good Kamara and Emmanuel Sanders can play. Michael Thomas is a big part of that offense. I think that's a big hole for them.
I'm taking Saints. Their defense looked good, real good. And
in the dome, too.
I think Drew Brees.
The new dome.
Oh, wow. No, Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Drew Brees. I mean, Michael Thomas is really good, but Drew Brees does that with everybody. Marcus Colston was a 7th-round pick. And so I'm going to say I'm going to stick with the Saints.
Oh,
I want to be like Justin. I'm going to go Raiders just because
Josh Jacobs is...
They're home. They're in Las Vegas. And, Jacobs looked...
He was good last year, but, man, it was a big game.
Yeah.
Good for you, Zach. Good for you.
Yep. And I'm taking Vegas.
Oh.
Only one person took the Saints.
Wow. I didn't expect that.
I like them playing at home in the new stadium. And Derek Carr looked really good. Okay, so that takes us to the Cincinnati at Cleveland Browns game. We're not going to forget it. We're going to circle back up.
Yep.
Who we got on Thursday night, and what are we picking the score? Because we didn't do that. Are we going to pick the score?
That's too hard. I don't know if we're going to score any points.
Well, it's 0.
I will say, I think when we did our schedule breakdown, I picked this to be a win easily for the Browns. I'm still going to pick the Browns to win, but I think it's a tougher matchup than it should be.
Yep. And so I'm going to pick the Browns too. Browns over the Bengals, but I'm declaring this for everybody listening and all you guys right now. This is my make or break Baker Mayfield game.
Yep.
Like if he comes out and he lights it on fire and he shows that he's still got that Baker game in him that he had his rookie year, I'm back. But if it looks like last year and last week and anything like that, I can't keep pulling.
If we lose this game and Baker looks bad, it's like sky is falling. We're going to be 0-2 and 0-2 in the division, and it's going to be panic time.
Yeah.
Yep. I completely
2
agree.
weeks in, panic time.
You going Cleveland, Justin?
Absolutely, man. I'll even do a score. I'm going to say Cleveland 28-17.
28-17. I'm putting that down.
Write it down, bro.
Justin wasn't afraid to pick the score right away.
No.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw a score out there too. I'm gonna say Browns bounce back here and the defense shows up and we make Joe Burrow. People question Joe Burrow. I'm gonna say we win 28-10.
Well done.
All right, I'll just throw my score and just say it's gonna be 21-13.
I'm gonna say,
all right, Blake, throw a score out there. We let you go last.
We win 100-0.
Nice.
The only chance we have of that.
Take like the 1-0 win or whatnot, like you're on Price is Right or whatnot.
Yeah, all right. So 100. You got my 100-0. All right. Don't let me down, Baker. Hopefully, I gave him some bulletin board material and he'll play well. All right, so let's wrap this thing up real quick. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Dawgs. This was first game reaction episode we got to do. This is what we've been looking forward to since we started this 4 months ago. Make sure you guys tune in next week after the Bengals game. Hopefully we got some better news for you. And if we lose, hopefully it's not a blowout. Make sure to check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. And we'll see you guys all next week, hopefully after a Browns win. Have a good week, everybody.